Well, at the time I was working at the People's City Mission in Lincoln, Nebraska, and saw it on the AGRM employment list. I gave Harold Utze a call, told him I was interested in being the chaplain at the mission here. I came up for an interview, sent in my resume. God told me before it all ended that I was going to be the chaplain. My job description says I'm in charge of the spiritual leadership and activity of staff, employees, residents. Just like today, I took a gentleman to go get his identification at the DMV and took him to a potential job place, and they hired him. I also am in charge of chapel speakers every night. If nobody can do it, then I'm the one. I preach on an average of about 5 to 6 times a month. Just like our mission statement says, we're here to feed the hungry, clothe the poor, and shelter the homeless. And the one I really like about the mission statement is to lead them to Christ. Because we can do all those things, but unless they know Jesus, they have no hope. This is the first mission I've worked at where we don't just feed our residents, we feed the community around us. And I have the opportunity to help monitor the dining room during lunch and dinner. And I get to know the community. They come to me sometimes with questions about their spiritual life, what I can do to help. I've already performed one marriage that a couple came and said they wanted to get married, but their pastor was out of town on vacation, asked if I would do it, and I did several counseling sessions and we did it last summer. The community knows who we are, and we want to reach out to them because we know there are people that don't eat right at times, and we find at the end of the month especially their EBT cards run out, their checks are gone, and they have no place to go but the mission. We're going to talk about who am I in God. We're going to talk about stress management and the parables. And not only that, we have 2 Bible studies during the week, and I lead both of those so that we teach them how to be a true disciple of Christ. It's just not a convenient Christianity, go to church on Sunday and then I'm done for the week, but it's an everyday occurrence where they are discipling other men as they come into the mission. We have some guys that have been here a while, and we rely on them so that we don't have to do everything ourselves all the time. And it almost like it snowballs. And we are seeing guys really becoming disciples of Jesus. When they first came here, they had no hope, they were down and out, and now we see men who are full of hope, and they know that God's got a plan for their life. The Women and Children Shelter is, I'm not as familiar with that. I've been over there a couple of times. I've been told now that they would like me to come over there and preach on a monthly basis. I see them at dinner time, or the meals. It breaks your heart sometimes to see a single mom with 2 or 3 kids and really struggling. But I see as they stay at the shelter, Renee and her staff really work with the ladies, and I begin to see a change in them as they come over each day to eat and how their children act. It's exciting to see because there's no other place in Sioux City other than our women's shelter for women with children. The thrift store provides clothes and items for the home at a reduced cost. Most of the items that come into the thrift store are donated, and then they put a price on it, and it becomes part of the budget that we have here at the mission. I see a lot of people over there every day, and I sometimes will go over there and people recognize who I am because they also eat here. It just provides a place where people can go and get clothes at a reasonable price, things for their house, appliances, furniture. They pretty much have everything over there. When I first came to Lincoln, I thought that I was just going to be there for a couple of years, and I ended up being there 8 years. I plan on being an old man when I retire here at the mission as a chaplain. Jesus talks about the orphans and the widows and the poor, and that I remember the parable of the sheep and goats. The difference between the two is what they did and did not do. He says, if you have not done it unto the least of these, you have not done it unto me. I look at people as creations that God made, and they just need somebody to give them the hope that they've been looking for most of their life, and that is in Jesus Christ. We have our regular donors. We also have volunteers who come in and serve meals. I have a list of people that I call upon to help with chapel. All you have to do is agree to our statement of faith. And I have several churches, individuals that come and share. People get involved and they find that it's an experience that they have never felt before or never had before. And they get excited about it. And they tell their friends, and their friends, come. We have a lot of people who want to volunteer here, and we get calls all the time. And it's exciting to see people come in from the community and say, I want to be here because I want to help. And that just makes my heart glow. I'm just excited about what God's doing here. It's amazing how He can change a person from the inside out. And I witness it every day. I just thank God that He lets me be a part. I pastored churches for a lot of years, but nothing gives me more joy and more excitement than being here at the mission